Thank you for being here. This practice will be an exploration of dirga pranayama. Dirga pranayama is also known as 3 parts breath, or yogic breath, or a diaphragmatic breath. And it's a pranayama technique. And if exploring breath and breath sensations and breathing techniques is a new experience for you, it might be cool to check out the last video I posted and explore those practices first. In that video, we take our time really exploring how the breath moves in our body, familiarizing ourselves with the sensations, starting really from the very beginning, which I find valuable no matter how much practice. It's always good to be present with the subtle sensations, and no matter what practice it is, the more presence we can bring to it, we can always learn from it because we're different in every moment. So it's always going to be different. So, for pranayama practice, it's wonderful to have an understanding, a foundation of a familiarity of how these sensations feel in our body, how the different sections of our body hold the breath, how it moves through our body, before we really start exploring more technique-y techniques that have more control involved. So perhaps that might be a great starting place to explore from the very beginning. Dirga pranayama, which is a practice that we'll be exploring in this video, is also known as 3-part breath because we're feeling into 3 parts of our body: our lower belly, our mid belly, and our chest, collarbone area. And really feeling how much space we can expand, feeling air move into all parts of our body. I mentioned it's also a diaphragmatic breath because as we breathe deep into the low parts of our lungs, it allows our diaphragm to move down and make space for our lungs to fill. And that movement of the diaphragm then allows our belly to expand. So we'll be feeling all of that happening. Dirga pranayama, the word dirga, the Sanskrit word, can be translated as to deepen or to lengthen. So that's very suitable. And the word pranayama, I'd love to share a quote from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika book, which talks about the word pranayama and how it breaks it down into prana and ayama and the meanings behind those. Because I love reflecting on this idea of prana, life force energy, and that pranayama practice, breathing, allows us to learn about how to support ourselves with breath, with bringing in prana, life force energy. So here's the quote. Prana is the vital life force, and pranayama is the process by which the internal pranic store is increased. Pranayama is comprised of the words prana and ayama, which means pranic capacity or length. It is not merely breath control, but a technique through which the quantity of prana in the body is activated to a higher frequency. So, perhaps reflecting on those thoughts, those ideas, as we're bringing in prana into our body, increasing our capacity, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful tool to know that we have always in life, in any moment, we have breath. And when we learn how our body supports us with this, what a wonderful thing. So, dirga pranayama is a practice that supports our nervous system in moving into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest state. So moving us out of the sympathetic fight or flight, which can happen when we're stressed, very common in this world, and bringing us into this parasympathetic rest and digest state, which our body needs to be able to heal and rest. Our body needs that rest to heal. And it needs this state to not only digest our foods, but also our emotions, our experiences, and integrations, to process life. So it's very valuable and needed. And we can support ourselves with these practices. Dirga pranayama is a very foundational yogic breath technique that, as we explore other yogic breath techniques, it's a very, as I said, foundational practice. So the other techniques oftentimes build off of this technique. So this is very supportive to learning in order to understand other techniques also. And again, just understanding the different ways the breath moves in our different parts of our body, and how to control and be aware of those sensations. And as I mentioned, this practice can be practiced at any moment in your day. You can tap into this and feel into these sensations and allow yourself to connect to your breath in this way. And the more we practice, the more it becomes a natural availability to us, the more we'll learn to naturally breathe deep into our bellies. So for today's practice, we'll begin with some energetic checking in with our bodies, noticing how we're arriving here today, so that we can easily support ourselves into moving into a more still state and really tend to where we're coming in. So we'll check in energetically, do some movement, explore some movement practices to, again, see where we're at our range of motions, emotions, energies. And then once we feel like we can settle in a bit more, we'll start exploring the breath. And end with a little breath and visualization practice. And as always, I'll offer many options for movement, breath, and positioning your body. And I'm here to support and hold space for you to find what feels good in your body and in your breath and in your internal rhythms always. And I encourage you to, and will remind you to check in with those things to make any adjustments and support your own body's needs. So when we begin the breath portion of the practice, Shavasana, lying down, is wonderful. It's my favorite for this exploration because it allows us to use the floor as a prop, essentially as a partner in allowing us to feel the sensations in our full body. So as we breathe, we can really feel the expansion in the back body too, and those sensations. So highly recommended if it's comfy for you, and if not, there's other options. But if you would like to be in Shavasana once we arrive to the breath portion, you'll want to have a comfy surface. So that might be a yoga mat with a couple of blankets on it to make it nice and supportive for a nice supportive Shavasana. Or you can just use a couple of blankets if you don't have a mat. Another option for feeling into the back sensations would be to sit up against a wall. And for that, you'll bring your tailbone all the way to the wall so that you can feel your full back body. You might cross your ankles here and really feel your tailbone, your spine elongated and your back against the wall so you can feel the sensations as you breathe. Another option would be to sit cross-legged as I will be guiding. And another option will be to sit on the edge of a chair. Again, allowing your spine to be nice and tall. So, that's for once we get to the breathing portion. For the movement portion, as we begin, as we check in with our energies, we'll all begin seated either here in a comfortable cross-legged seat, or you may use a chair if that's more comfortable for you, sitting on the edge of a chair with your feet supported by the earth and a nice long spine. So those are the two options for where we'll begin right now. So as you settle in your seated position, coming into the room. And just looking around, noticing your surroundings, and maybe inviting in a bit of movement, a little bit of swaying. You can have your hands on your knees here, or you might bring your right hand to your lower belly, your left hand to your heart, like you're dancing with yourself. Nice sway. Feeling that movement in your body and what feels good for your energies here right now. Maybe it's a rockier sway. Maybe the rhythm is a little more swayy. Maybe you hear music playing. Maybe it's just a light, gentle and letting that movement fall away, coming back to center, bringing your palms together at heart center and gently allowing the eyes to fall closed if that's comfortable for you, or softening your gaze, bringing your attention inwards and noticing your breath here, any sensations in the body, noticing how you're arriving to the practice today. There's no right or wrong. You're exactly perfect right here. Just becoming aware. Noticing the breath, maybe feeling the rising of the chest as it moves into the hands. Beautiful breath. And when you're ready, you can gently open the eyes and bring in a little bit more movement. We'll raise our arms into cactus arms and begin exploring how it feels. Start raising the arms up, left and right, and just exploring your range of motion here. Maybe it's just a little stretch in the side body here as you shift your weight left to right, and feeling that opening in the side body as you raise your hands up. Maybe you start seeing how it feels as you extend the hands up towards the sky, feeling that lengthening in your arms and all the way up from your hips and side body stretch, feeling all that space in the side body. Maybe imagining you're touching and reaching for a star as you reach up towards the sky, feeling the stretch. Where do you feel the stretch? As you reach up. Or again, maybe it's a little less of a range of motion here. And just feeling the stretch in your arms, your biceps, more of cactus arms. But again, just exploring those sensations and opening up the side body here. And letting that fall away, releasing your hands to your knees, relaxing the shoulders, and gently allowing your eyes to fall closed. Once again, bringing your palms together at heart center and checking in with your breath here. Noticing any differences in sensations in your body from when we arrived. Feeling the breath move in through the nose. And letting that fall away, allowing your eyes to open, and bringing your hands in towards your body, allowing for some compression here, and seeing energetically what feels good. Is there some energy that you want to release? Like tightening everything, tightening the fists, the arms, bringing everything in. And then opening up and releasing out. Opening up the hands, the heart space, the arms. And reaching the hands backwards. And once again, coming in and compressing in. Maybe it's just a little gentle squeeze. Or maybe it's more of a inwards. Maybe you're tightening, maybe you want to compress more, and then feeling the difference in sensations as you lighten up and release outwards, allowing the fingertips to come back. Once again, feeling that opening in the collarbone heart space. And feeling a stretch in the shoulder blades as they come towards each other. And one more time, what feels good here as you come, drawing all the energy inwards, 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 tightening, tightening, tightening. Like a tiny, tiny hug inwards. And then releasing out. Feeling that difference in sensations as you let everything flow outwards. Reaching the heart forward. Hands back, shoulder blades stretched back. And releasing that. Bringing your hands, palms back to heart center. Once again, allowing your eyes to come closed. And seeing if stillness feels how it feels now. If it feels more available. Noticing your breath. and letting that fall away, and just doing a little shake of the hands, seeing what feels good here. Maybe you want to shake out the feet if you're sitting in a chair. You might roll the ankles, get some crackles, rolling the wrists, maybe a little rotation of the knees, maybe a little shake out of the legs here, the arms, maybe a full body. Shake, shake, shake. What feels good for you? Maybe it's just a little light shake, a little bounce. And coming back into a cross-legged seat, or if you're in your chair with your feet planted on the floor, bringing your left hand to your heart, your right hand on top of your left hand on your heart, and feeling that heart. Maybe do you feel it beneath your hands, and do you feel, as you breathe, the chest rising into the hands here. Not feeling the need to change anything, just noticing the breath, natural flow of movement in the body, and how things are feeling now. And relaxing the space around the eyes, allowing the forehead to relax, relaxing the cheekbones, relaxing the jaw, the shoulders, feeling your body be supported by the earth, the surface beneath you. You are held here. And gently bringing awareness to the heart space. Breathing into this space. And perhaps inviting in an intention for today's practice. What brings you here today? Perhaps it's to nourish the body, to slow down, to care for oneself. to bring some curiosity and play. How would you like to show up for practice today? And planting that seed of intention in the heart space. And so it is. Allowing our practice to continue will transition into the dirga pranayama exploration with gentle care as we transition, and if we make any adjustments to our positioning, we'll do it with mindful gentleness, moving with no rush. So at this time, if you'd like to transition into a shavasana, you're welcome to get set up there, or if you'd like to move into the wall, you're invited to move there. Or, as I mentioned, you're welcome to be seated in a chair or in a cross-legged Sukhasana here with me. You might have a pillow supporting you. Feeling the nice long spine. Beginning to bring awareness to the contact points with the earth. So if you're lying down or on the wall, noticing your shoulders supported, your back supported. If you're seated, feeling that energy in your sits bones and coming up through the spine, through the crown. Just becoming present with our awareness and our gentle focus as we support our bodies here. And the first area will be exploring our awareness for dirga pranayama. The first of the three parts would be the lower belly. So bringing your hands to that region, the navel region, the lower belly here, and begin noticing the breath moving into the palms. Just allowing the natural rhythm of breath. Not making any changes. And noticing the natural rise and fall of the belly as you breathe here. And as you do, I'll invite you to start beginning to allow the breath to have an equal parts count on the inhales and on the exhales. So beginning to find some evenness in the flow of the breath, whatever that might be for you today. Not forcing any rhythm that isn't natural. So perhaps it's 4 counts in, 4 counts out, just as an example. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Just noticing where's your breath flowing at today. And once you've smoothed out that inhale and exhale, equal parts counting, beginning to invite in a deepening of the breath into the belly. So we'll be breathing in through the nose and out through the nose for dirga pranayama. However, if you find it feels more grounding for you for this practice, you're welcome to explore exhaling through the mouth. So you might try out both and see if you prefer one over the other for today's practice. And then perhaps sticking with that once you find which one you want to explore today. So inhaling deep into the belly, feeling the expansion into the hands. Inhaling, feeling the navel expand. Exhaling, feeling the abdomen contract, feeling the navel draw in towards the spine. And if you're lying down or sitting against the wall, noticing on the inhale the expansion in the back, how it feels as if the earth is rising up to meet you on the inhale, and how the surface meets your back, your lower back as you exhale, melting in or melting away if you're on the wall perhaps. If you're seated, once you feel you've explored the sensations of the area around the navel, you might move your hands to the side body, lower belly region, and feeling how that area expands out to the sides. Continuing with the equal parts breathing. Inhaling, feeling the side body expand into the hands. Exhaling, feeling those muscles contract inwards towards the center. Really feeling how we take up lots of space. On the inhale, expanding. Pressing into the hands, and exhaling, contracting back in. And once you've explored the side, lower body, bringing the hands to the back, lower belly. If that's such a thing, but you know what I mean. The lower back, where the belly region is. You know what I mean. And if you're lying down or on the wall, feeling the sensations of the body moving against the surface, expanding as you inhale, and drawing back in towards the body on the exhale. Inhaling, feeling the back expand. Exhaling, feeling the contraction. When you're ready and you feel you've explored this 360 of the body in the lower belly region and all that space that you have access to as you breathe into that area, we'll continue the equal parts breathing as we move our hands up to the mid-belly region, ribs area. So placing both hands on the mid-belly ribs, and if it feels comfy for you, keeping that same equal parts count as you inhale and feeling the expansion of the mid-belly ribs area into the hands. And on the exhale, feeling those muscles moving inwards. When you're ready, I invite you to take your hands to your side body ribs in your mid-section area, and once again feeling the expansion in the side body, middle abdomen area. On the inhale, feeling the expansion into your hands, taking up space. And exhale, contracting inwards. Noticing the sensations as the body expands into your hands on your side body. On the inhale, and exhaling, feeling everything drawing back inwards. And when you're ready, bring the hands to the back, middle body, ribs area, and feeling the expansion in this area into the hands. Or once again, if you're on the wall or the floor, feeling the body moving against that surface. How do things change as you inhale exhale. And when you're ready, when you feel complete exploring this mid-body ribs area, we'll move to section 3 part of the 3-part breath. Bringing the hands to the chest, collarbone region, and inhaling and feeling the rise of the chest and heart space into the hands. And the fall of this area as we exhale. Taking up lots of space as we feel the expansion of the collarbone and chest on the inhale. And the fall on the exhale. And if you're lying in Shavasana or on the wall, feeling the upper back area expanding into the surface. And feeling how the sensations change on the exhale. If you're seated, seeing how it feels, bringing your hands to the upper back above the shoulder blades. Noticing if you feel any change in sensations as we breathe into this upper region. Feeling the sensations as our body changes with breath. And once you feel you've explored all 3 regions of the 3 parts breath, we'll combine all 3 of these regions together. So, we'll begin with the lower belly, breathing into this area, followed by the mid-belly ribs, followed by the chest collarbone, and then reversing, exhale the breath from the collarbone chest, exhaling from the mid-belly ribs, exhaling from the lower belly. So it's all together now. So it's inhale, expand, inhale, expand, inhale, expand, exhale, contract, exhale, contract, exhale, contract. We'll want to continue keeping the breath in an equal flow on the inhale and exhale. So I'll do some guided counts, and if those counts don't feel comfy for you, you can find a flow that feels natural for your body. And once again, you're welcome to explore breathing through the nose and exhaling through the nose, or if it feels more supportive for you today, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So I'll begin guiding a 3-part breath with inhaling for 2 counts into the lower belly, inhaling for 2 counts into the mid belly, inhaling for 2 counts in the upper chest collarbone, and then exhaling 2, exhaling 2, exhaling 2. And once again, if that doesn't feel comfy for you, find an equal parts rhythm that works for you, and we'll have many options to explore in our own rhythms. So I'll invite you, if you'd like to join me in this guided count. And for hand placement here, bringing the right hand to just above the navel and onto the mid-belly, so that you're kind of half and half on the sections, so you'll be able to feel both expansions. And then the left hand on the upper chest collarbone. So still feeling the sensations and the expansion here. And once again, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So exhaling all the air out. And inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling into the lower belly, mid-belly, collarbone, chest. Exhaling collarbone, chest. Exhaling mid-belly. Exhaling lower belly. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continuing with your own pacing, breathing into the lower belly, followed by the mid-belly, followed by the chest collarbone, and reversing, exhaling through the collarbone, chest, feeling that release, feeling the release as you exhale through the mid-belly, and exhaling through the lower belly. Continuing exploring this 3-part breath. Couple more 3-part dirga pranayamas, really exploring how much space you can take up as you breathe deep into the lower belly, into all the regions we just explored, and contracting all the air out. And when you feel ready to let that exploration go, you can release your hands to your knees. And I invite you to keep your eyes closed, and if you feel you need a little stretch of the legs here, you might extend them outwards. Or if you're seated or against the wall, just bringing in some light movement into the legs intuitively. We've been sitting for a while. And little wiggles into the toes, the ankles. Just bringing in any little light stretches if needed. Maybe a couple shoulder rolls. Before we transition into the last portion of our practice, which will be a guided breath as we just did with a little visualization. So arriving back into that breath practice, positioning of the body wherever is comfy for you to practice a little more 3-part breath here. I'll invite you to bring both hands to the lower belly, navel region here. And we'll be practicing, exploring the same practice we just explored of 3-part breathing into all 3 sections together, the full dirga pranayama. And as we begin, maybe imagining golden healing sunlight flowing in through the crown of the head on the inhales, down into the belly. So as you inhale all the way down into the belly, and continuing this 3-part breath exploration, filling up all parts of the breath. As we begin the inhales, drawing that light and that breath, that prana, down into the lower belly, navel. And begin imagining that energy flowing out through the navel region, out into the room, out into the space. Flowing this beautiful healing light force energy inviting it flowing down through the crown of the head as you breathe in, inviting that flow all the way into the belly, and on the exhale, flowing that energy, that golden healing light energy out through the abdomen. Flowing through you out into space, creating a warm, radiant energy surrounding you, flowing out into the world. And melting away any tension, This beautiful light energy flowing through and out, enlivening your cells, maybe feeling that warm, tingling hug of the sun energy as it supports you, as the breath flows through, nourishing your muscles, nourishing your skin, melting away any tension. Continuing to breathe deep into the belly, feeling that life force supporting you. And when you're ready, you can let that practice fall away. And bringing both hands to palms facing together at heart center. And just allowing your breath to flow naturally here. Noticing any sensations in the body. And just bringing your awareness to the natural flow of breath here. And if you're at the wall or in Shavasana, I'll invite you to join us all together in a seated cross-legged position if it's comfortable for you. So making this transition very mindfully, heartfully, slowly, with no rush. Allowing this transition to be part of the practice, moving with lots of slowness and ease. So if you're in Shavasana, I'll invite you to gently roll over to your right side, allowing your right arm to create a pillow for your head, and feeling the earth beneath you once again, supporting your breath here in its natural state, in your side body now. Resting here. And when you feel ready, you might allow your left hand to meet the earth in front of you as a kickstand and gently pressing up to allow yourself to move towards an upright, seated, easy pose here with us. Bringing the palms together at heart center, We'll all meet here, closing the practice. And once again, inviting awareness to the heart space. Noticing the breath here in the heart, pressing into the thumbs on the inhales. And as we bring awareness to the heart space, perhaps inviting in awareness of this intention we invited in at the beginning of practice. This beautiful seed we planted of how we'd like to show up today. And thanking yourself here for planting this seed. For every time we practice, we grow. And the conditions are always new and fresh. And just like nature, we are part of nature and flowing in cycles. Just like breath. So thank yourself once again for nourishing, for taking this time to take care, to tend to your garden and the collective garden. I'm so grateful to be here with you. Thank you so much. I'll invite you to begin noticing sounds in your surroundings, starting to bring awareness back into the space. And noticing contact points of your body with the surface beneath you. And maybe allowing the hands to come down to your lap and gently inviting in some intuitive movements into the fingertips, wiggling, maybe rolling the wrists, maybe some gentle neck rolls. Just gently inviting the body back into space through movement. Maybe some gentle shoulder rolls. Maybe extending the legs and hips again, giving them a little stretch. Maybe rocking the knees sort of side to side. If you're in the chair, or if you're seated like I am, you can invite in some windshield wipers. Feeling some stretch in the legs and hips. Maybe you want to do a little shakeout again. And when you're ready, gently allowing the eyes to flutter open, noticing your surroundings, and transitioning back into this space, moving slowly from practice into the next moments of your day, mindfully and with peace and so much love.